Hi, welcome to this episode. So let's handle the editing of the article. So we already have the admin content edit page, which will allow us to edit our article's content. This is an important episode. This is an important aspect to know when you are building PHP applications. So stay tuned to the end of this video to be able to understand what is going on here. So the first thing we need to do is that the link that's admin content edit.php, we need to pass it the ID of the article we want to edit as a query string, just like we did with the single page on the front side. So to do that, let's go back to our admin content page where we list all the articles. So when we go through the form, you could see here for each one of the articles we loop through, we display a TR, which is a row, which now contains every single information about our article. So the title, the ID used here for the checkbox, which we will use for the mass deletion. Then we have the date of creation, the admin content edit.php. So this is the link we are looking for. So in this link, we are going to pass it the ID, which is the query string, and then that ID will simply be the article ID, just like we did for the checkbox. So we bring it in, we pass it here. So that being done, if we go back to our content, for each one of the articles, if you mouse over on the edit now, we should be able to see the ID of the article passed to the link. So if I click, I should have the page. So at this page, we have the ID passed. So the ID is passed to this page. So on this page now, which is the admin content edit. So admin content edit page. On this page, we need to fetch the given article, just like we did on the single page from the front side, and then be able to redisplay the content in the first position. Secondly, we have to be able now to handle the submission of the form. So these are the things that are very crucial when it comes to editing existing content. So let's go ahead. First of all, we need to insert our PHP section at the top of the page. So once that's done, we need to bring in the guard. Remember, this is an administrative area, so we need to bring in the guard. We need the session all the time so that the session can work. So we keep the sessions started, then we bring the guard. Only sign-in admins can access this page, right? So once that's done, we are going to get the article, the unique article. This looks like what we have on the single page here, which is get a connection to the database. So first of all, we get the ID, get the connection to the database, and then fetch the particular ID article here, right? So we can copy that. So once that copied, we can take it to our admin content edit. So it seems I was working on the wrong file. So you see, you have to be careful. I was rather working on admin content single instead of admin content edit. So I'll paste the code here, although I will have to move it all. So I'm supposed to remove this all from here because we are working with admin content edit for now. So let's be sure. So this is admin content edit. So that's where we are going. So admin content edit. So I'll paste the whole code here. So which says, okay, bring in the session, start the session, bring in the guard, get the ID if an ID was sent. So here we could also add the condition we added at a single page, which is if there's no content sent. So we can just error the page or error the site by saying, okay, when all this is done. So this is a guard tool that will check if there's no session, we won't access. So in case there is no ID, we can now say you cannot access this, and we send the person back to the index, and then we send the person to the admin dashboard, simply like that, admin dashboard. So we say return. Great. So if the ID is set, we get the article ID. Now we bring in the database connection. We now select the particular article, and that's the article here, the article. So once that's done, we can start now displaying the article's details. So starting from the title, so we echo the title. So we bring in the question mark and then the title. So if I reload, you should now see the title on the browser's title bar. So once done, we can we can now go back to the edit part here, where we also display the title, and we close that. So by refreshing, now we can see that we are editing this particular article. So that's cool. So we can now go ahead and fill in the form with the existing content and so on, before we can now handle the submission of the form again. So at this point, let's go ahead and fill in the content in the form, the article's content in the form. So admin content edit, we have the article variable handling the article's content. So we go to the input title. So we add the value attribute to the title. So once the value attribute added, then inside we are going to echo. So we use the same echo, the title. So that's title. And of course, it is an arrow. So I will copy this. And be careful not to add extra spaces like this, because it will be considered as content as well. So you might see a lot of content showing up after your content. I mean, some empty spaces. So in the case of the except, since we are dealing with a text area, the only thing we need to display here is just the variable except. So except like this. And you could see there's no space, and if you add any space around, that space might reflect on your content, and you might notice that once you edit, the content changes. So the same thing here, the input type image, this is a special case. So what we'll do is, first of all, we'll display the article here, the article image. So instead of value, it's not value, it is just the cover image. So we named it cover in the database. So if I refresh at this point, we can see the image here, we can see the except and the title pre-populated in the form. So we can go ahead and do the same thing for the full text. So it's not value, then we echo. And what do we echo? It is content. So once that done, we are okay. So I think we are left with one field which we added later on. That's the field of the author. So I can see some empty space here. So I don't know where that space is coming from here. So we'll see that once we start saving. So once that's done, let's go and get, that's where we have admin dashboard. We have the input for the author here. I think we pick it and we close that. To not get confused, we go back to this, and right after the text area, the full text, we have the author. So here we are going to have the attribute value added and display the author. Great. So once that's done, if we now preview, we should have the author's name for the article, the content, the image, then the except, and the title. So if we go back to content, pick any other article, sorry, not here, we edit any other article. So I think I should pick a different one, so something like this guy. So we see the title showing up, the content being filled in the various areas, and that's it. So the next thing is to deal with the submission of the data. So like I mentioned, we already have the form, the code to handle the submission of the content, except there's a challenge here, which is to handle the image. So what we would like to do is, one, if the user submits this form, in normal situation, this is just like creating a post. The only difference is, instead of doing insert in our database query, we are going to do update. So the next challenge is the image. So we would like to check if there's an image attached to that submission of file, then the person wants to change the image of the article, then we'll call the upload function to upload by passing it the existing image name. So not only it will upload a new image, but it will keep the name of the existing image. That will overwrite the existing image and bring in the new image with the same name. So this helps us to save space in our system. Otherwise, every time we update, we have to upload a new image, then over time our system disk will be full of useless images. So let's implement that and see how it goes. So first thing, we need to have an indication on the, we'll add a field, a hidden field. So we'll name it input type hidden, and the type is hidden. The name is going to be old cover, right? And the old cover, the value is going to be the article title cover. That's the old image name. So that's the old image name. So if I refresh and then inspect that area, so we check the area, we should see a hidden input file, input, so old, a hidden input field, which is having the name old cover, and the value, you could see it bears the name of the image. So once that's done, we are ready. Our fields, so we have the input type file cover image, which is the same name we had in the creation form. So the same thing with except title, and I think content and author. So all we have to do now is handle the submission of the form. And as usual, since this form is going to handle the submission of an image, we'll have to add the encode type, which is multi-part form data, right? So by doing that, now we give the form the capacity, the power to handle uploads. So once that's done, we can come here now and take care of it. And this is nothing different from what we already have in the admin dashboard, where we handle the upload of the images. So this even now tells me that we will have to abstract this whole function on a different file. The reason being that here you see that this whole process here, after we check all this, we call the function upload image, I think somewhere here, upload image. So we are going to do the same thing we have here. So all this is going to be also used on the admin edit page. So it means if we want to make it work, we also have to copy this function along. Meanwhile, I could abstract it outside as a single file and then bring it in wherever we need it. So we go back to admin content edit, we do the getting of the article. That is done. So it is always done like that. Whenever we open that file, it will get the article. So next we handle update, right? So we paste everything we copied, everything, we bring it here, and we want to do the checking once the form is submitted. Here, when the form is submitted, we want to do this checking, create the errors, check the title field, the author field, the except field, the content field, everything. Then also check the cover image field. And this is where this is really going to be very useful. Where it is null, it means there's no update of image. So great. Here we are not going to check with this here. We are not going to check with null. We will not check this here. So we do the checking of the file name and so on. So file name upload. So we do the upload, and this upload function we need to bring it in, and that's what I want to fix before we go on. So the upload function, So upload function, I will take it out and then require once, then it's once. I don't know why I always write missing the n, so it is going to be upload.php, simply like that. So I will create that file, new file, save, so Control S, name it upload.php and save, and I have to open my PHP. Since it contains only PHP, there's no need to close. So the only thing that file does is to declare a function called upload image. Yes. So this also makes me think probably after we are done, we can organize this code like that, or you can already start doing that. You could create a folder called includes, and inside that file, everything that is included, inside that folder you can put everything that is included. So that is the upload.php file, the admin guard, right? And probably later on abstract the header, footer, and put all this inside that include folder. So for now we'll just continue as such and no problem. Or you can distinguish them by adding include in front of the files that need to be included. So like this upload, we'll prefix it with include underscore upload, and then for the admin guard, for example, you are like include admin guard. So that is, it's just an organization concern. So we can go ahead. So once we've included the file here, it will make the function, the image upload function, available for us to use. And the same thing I have to do here. So instead of having the function declared, that's admin, okay, here admin, so that's where I included the file already. So I have to use this and bring it here. So it should be after we get the connection. So probably I can just include it once we have the form submitted. Yes, so once the form is submitted, that's where I need it. So let me just bring it in here. Let me just bring it here and do the same thing for the admin dashboard. When the form is submitted, we can bring it in, so that we don't just bring it when it is not useful. Great. So like that. So I can close now the admin dashboard and focus on the admin content edit page. So on this page, like we were saying, we need the title, we need the author, the excerpt, everything collected, the cover image. So if it is no at this point, it means the editor, the person editing, did not change the image, so they did not attach any image here. And since we did not put any particular condition on the form which is required to make the form required, then definitely the form can be submitted even if you don't fill any content. So in our case, we check that through this condition here to say, okay, if the title is no, or the except is no, or the content is no, or the image is no, then we can display an error which is here. So in case it is not no, then we can go ahead and continue processing the form. So in our case, we want the image to be no sometimes. That's even if that's when the user or the admin does not want to change the article's image, but the title, the except, every time we want them to be filled. It cannot be empty. Otherwise, you can take an article and just clear the title and it will become a useless article. So we want the image to be no sometimes. So in that case, we want to do upload only. We want to upload the file only if there is an image. So that is if it is not no. So if not is no, the image cover, then we can do that. So if it is not no, then we can do the upload and send the file. All right, and send the file. And at this time, instead of cover image, so that's one challenge we'll have, because like I said, we would like to keep the image name the same. So probably we can pass a second parameter to the function, which is an optional parameter, so which is name, file name. So an optional parameter to the function, and it means in the update here, and you can see one of the advantages of abstracting it. Otherwise we'll have to change this in all the files wherever we have the function copied and pasted. So we are going to be file name, and by default we'll set it a default value of null. That way I don't have to go to the admin dashboard here wherever I called the upload here and then have to change here. No, I wouldn't need to come here and change that, since that parameter is optional. If I don't call it, then PHP will just assume its default value, which is empty. So here in our function we also have to be sure of that. So if there's no file name, or I would rather make it null. So if there's no file name, that's when we can do all this. So if we can extension tokens, yes. So if is null, the file name. So if we did not provide any particular file name, then we can try to make up the file name. Else the file new name is simply the name provided. So we'll use the same name like this, as simple as that. So in our case here, we provided a file name, which is the old file name, which is supposed to be the old file name, right? So where is the old file name? It is in the hidden input. So input, so we get that input. So normally we should do the checking again, because it is an important input, which is the old cover. So we should get the old cover, and the old cover shouldn't be empty. So we are saying HTML entities. We don't want to affect any of the value of that field, because it's just an image. So once we have that, that's the old cover name we are going to provide here, the value. So you can imagine if somebody tampers with this field, so we could also get null, which is going to be a problem. So maybe we might add that, and the old cover is not null as well. So if it not is null, old cover, if not is null cover, yes. So yes, so if image is not uploaded, and file name, I think we will have to kind of take that condition out, because we'll do this when there's an image sent. Yes, okay. So if there's an image sent, we do all this checking and we submit. But in this case, we want to also do all this. We want to do all this even if there's no image. So this condition, we'll have to handle it outside. So what we are going to do is we'll take all this off. We'll take all this off like this. Take all this off, and we'll say, okay, if is null, so if the cover is null, and let me think of my conditions here. So if not is null, and so on and so on, we just need to do the move file and upload it. Else we don't also give an error, since it is optional. I will keep the else because we would like to use it to set the image name to the default image name. So this condition still holds. So once that's done, we can go ahead now and proceed to the upload or the insertion or update of the article content. So what happens if is no if not is no cover image file name, then we send the upload. So we do the upload, right, and we get file name. So if normally the user uploaded a new file, we'll get file name as the new file name. Otherwise, then file name This sounds like a useless statement because this is going to be empty. So rather, if not is no, I will do this. So if it not is no, yes. If not is no, the cover image, the user uploaded an image, then we get the file name as such. Otherwise, the file name is going to be the old cover, simply like that. So basically, if you upload an image, then the cover image here, this variable will not be null, so it will contain the actual image data. We use that image data, we send it to the upload function, but not only we send it to the upload function, by then the old cover will also have a content which is the old image name. So we pick that old image name, we pass it to the upload image function. So if not, so if the user did not upload anything, we don't do any uploading. So we don't call the upload image function, but we rather change the variable file name. We set it to old cover, which is the old image name. And so that being done, the file name will always contain the name we want. This allows us to use it in subsequent code, which is here, where we precise the image name, we specify the image name to our database. So that brings us to the database, the data area where we update the function. So in the previous post, in the previous page where we create articles, we used insert into, but this time around we are going to do update the table set. So we have to specify set, rather we set the title equals to something, comma, the except is equals to something, comma, again, and so on. The author equals to something. The admin ID, there's no need to update the admin ID because once it is created, we can keep it that like that. We don't want to know who updated it for now. So the cover, comma, something needs to be changed. Published on, no need to update that. This time around, there's no need for value because the values are already required here. So once that's done, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fields to be updated. The first field is the title, we provide it. The second one is the except, provided. The second one is the content, we provided. The third one, author, we don't. The fourth one, author, we don't need author. Oh, we did, we said we need that, so that's author. So the next one, which is the admin ID, we don't need that, we get rid of it. So this following one is the file name, which is the cover, and this is where we need that file name. So it will be either the old file name without uploading any image, or the old file name but with a new image, because once it is uploaded, it is going to overwrite the existing image but maintain the name. So once that's done, the publish on, we don't need that, and we can get rid of it here. So if everything goes well, so new article saved, no, it's going to be article updated successfully. So article updated successfully. And then if there are any errors, we get our errors and so on. So that being done, the way we displayed our errors and confirmation messages on admin dashboard, where we added a new article, we need to do the same thing here. So we have to find where we handled that. That's it here. Is how we handle the display. So this also could be abstracted on a file to show that this is just to handle error displays, but it will force you to keep the consistency in the error variables. So but we'll keep it here just for your understanding purposes. So we go back to we can close this one, admin content edit. Once that's done, we can now go to the page where we update. So here article, post content, So that's the form here. So before the form, edit, so on. So we write under the title, so we can add that. So if we reload, so we are having some errors, syntax error, unexpected error, line 32. So we go to line 32 and 32, that's the page content edit. So 32, so it says the error is unexpected. Simply we ignored the semicolon here. Upload, so I have to check that here too, if I did not make the same mistake where I required the upload file here. So the same mistake is here, so we get rid of it now. So if I refresh, I should get my article with its existing content. So to edit, I'll just add something right in front, some underscore here, and see. You can see the image here. It's just the the React icon. So we upload, we update. What happened? Nothing actually happened, and no error as well. Let me reload. It's try to submit. Go back to content. Nothing changed. Let me take it again. So we click on edit, with submit. It submits. So normally it brings us back to the same page, which is okay, but I'm not getting any errors. The session is well set. We brought the guard, the ID is there. Okay, so we got the article ID. That's how we are able to fetch the article. Do I have two database connections brought in? Let me check. Yeah, so I can see that there's two database connections. So we can get rid of this one, because the first one will definitely run and bring in the database connection. Right, so it will always be available. So once that's done, let me see what is going on. So I'm saying if not is set to this, blah 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 blah. If it is no, if not is no, we do this. Else, did we set an error? Yes, else there should be an error, and we didn't see that error. So we move the file if it exists. If the user required wants to change the image. Otherwise we do published on, we didn't use that, so we can get rid of that. So saved, prepare statement, update, and so on. So let me even break this to next lines. It looks cleaner. Keep it clean. Great. So that being done, we can just push this guy up to this place. So we have update article, set title, 1 2 3 4 5 fields, 5 fields. So 1 2 3 4 5 fields. So that sounds okay. So if everything goes well, we have the success variable. Otherwise we have the error, and we should get any PDO exceptions in case. So once that's done, we stay on the page, since the page is the one handling its forms. So we should stay on the same page, either with a confirmation message or an error or nothing at all, if everything goes well. So let me check again what is going on here. Let me reload just the page, then add just underscore in front and apply changes. Nothing changed. So the first thing when you have such challenges is to make sure that your error messages are showing well as they are supposed to. So that means we go back where we have the error messages here, errors and so on. So var dump the error variable. So var is somewhere right around here. We'll var dump the errors variable and also the success variable. The success variable. So that's the first thing we'll do. Let me reload. So we can see that yes, the array, which is the errors variable, is showing undefined variable success. So that means there was no success. That makes sense, and it is no. That makes sense. Now what of the errors variable? And that one shows empty, it means there is nothing. So normally this condition here shouldn't be fulfilled, so we wouldn't see any error, because when we count we get 0 elements. So that's okay. So the problem might not be coming from that part. So once that being verified, the next thing is to check that, okay, if this condition goes, no, not this one. So if let's say we take the first one, which is to find out if all fields are filled. If we did not get the errors for that, it means the condition is fulfilled. So that's title is not empty, except is not empty, content is not empty. And then the next statement is to find out if an error occurred when saving the article. So that's the try the statement here. We didn't get that error as well. And then the next thing is, it seems everything is okay at this point, and we didn't also get the message here. So could we probably try to check if there's anything that happened here, since we are not getting the positive, and all the positive cases seem to have run except this one. So can we check if there's any negative aspect of this? So let me do it this way, and I'll write something like here, just here. That's all I need. So if we try to submit the form again, what do we have? You see, so that's where the issue is coming from. So the here condition is that the article was not saved because there was an error with this statement. So we need to go through carefully and find out what we have, what was the issue. And we didn't get any PDO exception, so we could say saved execute. So we have database connection, prepare, update, articles set. Of course, this is a dangerous query I prepared here. So once we set the fields, we have to also specify where that change will happen. So we need to specify the article, where the ID is. So which article do we want to affect? And this is very important. And by doing so, we have already fetched that article up there, which is the article. By this time we get to that area, we already have that article ID. So the where statement, the question mark for the where statement, that's the value, the article ID. So in normal situation, if this request had been executed successfully, by now all my articles should have the same change applied to them. So if I reload and check the articles, so it would have given that underscore in front of all the articles. So I still don't suspect that the issue might have been the where statement, although it is important. I was expecting it to run, update all the articles by just prepending the underscore in front of the articles titles. So but still, let me just check this and see. So here I can see there's a bracket here. So let me try again to just confirm my statement. Great. So I have object class could not be converted to string somewhere. Okay, statement admin thrown in uncaught error, object of class standard class could not be converted to string. So admin content edit line 87. So 87 is here. So there's something here, and I guess that error is caused by this bracket here. So if I remove it and try again, so we're still getting the error. So object of class standard class could not be converted to string. So that is the article. So let me keep that bracket still. The article here is an object. Remember, that's the object of the article we fetched, the actual article we are editing. So it makes sense. So we are not looking for the whole object, but the ID of the object. So if we reload this time, we should see we still get the here error, because indeed this request did not execute successfully, and that might be the error here, the bracket. So if I remove the bracket now and then update again, now article updated successfully. And that should be, if I let me just go back, cancel, we don't reload, we go back to content, and I see the underscore has been appended on the title. Great. So that means if I remove this statement, like I said, and update the article, so let me go ahead and do edit and add a second underscore. I wouldn't want to do that because it is going to override all my articles with the same title, and that would be crazy. So this, to actually show you the importance of this where statement, we were actually lucky that we were having that bug preventing the query from being executed on the database. So you always have to be very careful when you run any update statement to always specify the where. To specify the where, some people even go to the extent of adding the limit to 1. We shouldn't go more than one statement. We shouldn't execute more than one element. So that's when you are dealing with one thing. So there are cases where you update many things at the same time, but you really have to be careful, otherwise you override every single thing related to this query, and that can be dramatic. So that being said, we can now try to edit an article again. Let me remove the underscore and see if it works. So if I reload, get it, yes. So this is great. This is great. So let's try, and we can see here we have problem with with the image. So if I go back to content, I take the article, I click on edit, I can see that the image was broken. So let me check the images folder. So upon checking the image folder, I can see that the article here, we can see that then the cover was emptied, and if the cover was emptied, there must be something wrong with, let me see, setting, let's check this, the old cover, which is null here. So that means if I try to upload an image, I think the image was the React something. So if I try to re-upload the image with the update and just enter the URL, I see the image. So this is the challenge. This is what is happening here, and we have to pay attention to this particular problem. So what happens is that when I click apply changes, it applies the changes, and then at the same time we have a statement on top of this page that is in charge of fetching the article at the same time. So when it fetches the article, it brings it in the form again. But since we are using post statement, anytime we try to refresh this page, it asks us if you want to refresh, and if I say yes, it refreshes and resubmits the form with empty data. It seems like this field gets emptied, therefore sending an empty image to our code, and the code now updates the article without the image, so which forces me to always re-upload the image. So I'll upload the image, apply it, and changes applied. So one way to fix this issue is probably after the update, we'll rather redirect the user, to force the user to be redirected to the same page again. So at this point, once it is done like this, and in this case we are not going to get the confirmation message. So what I'm trying to say is we'll say header. In the header we are going to specify the location parameter, and we'll provide it the admin underscore content edit, and then .php with the ID of equals to the article ID. So we concatenate the article ID like that. So this being said, if I make any changes here, let's say I add the underscore again and submit, we had a problem. So there's an error with the name. So here that page does not exist. So let me go back, refresh. So I still had the issue. Let me check, let me be sure of what I'm saying. So we upload the image, we apply the changes, we are redirected back to the page. If I refresh now, I don't get anything. So here we can see the article is updated, the underscore is added, the image is still there. If I try to resubmit again, that's where we have the issue, I think. So once we resubmit without uploading an image, it actually clears it. And the issue is that once that is done, let me be sure, we refreshed it, we go to articles data, the image is cleared. So it means, so the problem was in the fact that we don't redirect. So let me remove this redirection. The problem wasn't that. The problem is that when we don't attach a file, the cover image here is not being updated. So let me be sure of this. Let me do this. So what I'm going to do is to take that old cover and try to echo it. So old cover, let's see what we get every time we try updating our article. So var dump old cover, and we die the script from here. We don't do anything else. We want to see that old cover. So let me submit. We see we get no. This makes sense because here we can see that there's nothing. So let me cancel here for now, so that I can upload an image indeed. So I'll pick the image, upload. Then that being said, let me just enter here. Then we have the article. So let me check the old input. So here we can see old cover is having a value. Okay. So we can check here, we are uploading so many because that problem is not being fixed, and that's what we are trying to solve as a problem. So let me now check here what we get once we submit the form. So at this stage I did not change anything, I just want to submit the form like that. So let me just submit. We get that image. Great. Refresh, submit, we get the image. Now what if I upload an image like this? Try like this, upload, we still get a cover image. So this works. The problem is not here. So there's an old cover image being sent to us all the time. So I think the condition is happening, the issue is happening here. So let's see what we get every time we do this. So we var dump here, the file name, what do we get, and we'll die here. So let me try. Sorry. Okay, let me edit the article the same. Syntax error, line 81. Yes, we didn't add semicolon. So refresh. So submit. So we see we get false. We get false. So that's the problem here. That being false, it's like we are inserting false value here, and the false value in the database will be converted into an empty space. So why do we get false? So let's check our condition. If not is no cover image, we do that. So what I'm going to do is I will echo okay 1. That's if this one works, we'll see okay 1, otherwise we'll see okay 2. So if this condition is fulfilled, we'll see this, otherwise we'll see. Then we'll know if it is the condition the issue or this statement the issue. So I will refresh, resubmit the form, and we got okay 1. So boolean false, so it means the problem is here, this condition, and this condition says that if not is no, cover image. So if not is no, oh, that's the problem. So if not is no, that means the image was attached, and that is no, it shouldn't be. Yes, cover image. So cover image, this will be no if file's cover image was not attached. Oh yeah. Okay, yes. Wow, this is very important to see, because this will always have that object. So let me tell you this is what is going on here. If we var-dump the files object, so let's say in this case we'll do it here, since we know that's where the condition is fulfilled. So we var-dump this files object. So let me resubmit. We did not attach a file to the form, we just upload, we click on update, and you see we get that object, except it is empty. So we always have to add that condition. You see, we have to add that the condition, the error is either 0, that means indeed there was a file sent, and here we could also use the size to say the size must be greater than 0, that indeed there is a file attached. So we can add any of these conditions to make sure this condition is only fulfilled if there's indeed a file. So instead of if it's set, yes, not only it is set, but the file, and file we add the parameter size. So let's say size, or let me use the error parameter. So, and the error parameter is indeed equals to 0. So that means there was a file. So if there's a file, then we can pick up the file object and put it in the cover image. Otherwise we get a no. So in this case, this condition indeed will find out that this is no if we do not append any file, if we do not attach any file. So I can reload, try to refresh, and then I get my image. That sounds great. So we can go ahead, refresh, updated successfully, the image shows. So we go in, we get this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear all these images, right? Then I'm going to keep the image name inside, and then try to update the article with an image. So you can see here, if I refresh, there will be a name on the old field. There will be a name, but that image does not exist. It means if I try to upload an image now, if I try to upload an image, it should pick the image and give it that name, and then send it to the folder. So you can see this time around, since the file is there, if I try to change it now and use a different file, let's say this guy, upload, it should update with the new image, but it will overwrite the existing one, and this is clean. That's what we want. So thank you for staying around, and thank you for watching this one. If you liked it, please kindly consider liking the video, subscribe to our channel, and share the video with your friends. Thank you so much, and see you in the next episode, where we are going to handle the preview of the article at the administrator side. So that's the admin content single page to preview the articles. Thank you so much, and see you there.